Samsy. Story time with Ronnie. Hey guys, how's it going? Today, Journey to the Center of the Earth, part 19 for us. What are we doing today? Well, we's continuing on this drive. I promised we'd pick it right up where we left off, and we left off in Star Vally, so that's where we's picking it up. And we's gonna soon be into Payson, and we'll go right through Payson and down the hill, and I'll see if I can remember to look up when we slide down the big hill, because that's always a lot of fun. All right, now this story. Journey to the Center of the Earth. Now, we finished off at the end of chapter 17 when they had come to the end of it and discovered that they took the wrong passage. And they came to an end of it, and they was at the end of the passage. They had at least 3 days to get back, and they had 0 water. So that's where we're going to pick it up. So here we go, chapter 18, The Wrong Road. Next day, our departure took place at a very early hour. There was no time for the least delay. According to my account, we had 5 days hard work to get back to the place where the galleries divided. I can never tell all the sufferings we endured upon our return. My uncle bore them like a man who has been in the wrong. That is, with concentrated and suppressed anger. Hans, with all the resignation of his pacific character, and I confess that I did nothing but complain and despair. I had no heart for this bad fortune. But there was one consolation. Defeat at the outset would probably upset the whole journey. And this guy, he's always looking for, oh, yep, that's it. That means that's the end of it. Okay. As I had expected. Oh, where are we in? Are we in the place yet? Oh, we get in there. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Let me just take a look here. Oh, I see now I lost my spot already, so it just don't matter now. Let me take a look. May as well look at the road. Oh, yeah. Okay, so they're starting to develop. All of a sudden, there's housing on the right here and housing on the left, like 2 brand new, fairly well developed housing developments that, you know, they're looking kind of nice. I might have to take a peek there. Payson and Star Valley, it's kind of a nice little spot. Anyway, okay, back on this here story. Up the hill we go up to Payson, so. But there's one consolation. Oh, right. Would probably upset the whole journey. As I had expected from the first, our supply of water gave completely out on our first day's march. Our provision of liquids was reduced to our supply of shittum. I think it's shittum. But this horrible, nay, I will say it, this infernal liquor burnt the throat, and I could not even bear the sight of it. I found the temperature to be stifling. I was paralyzed with fatigue. More than once, I was about to fall insensible to the ground. The whole party then halted, and the worthy Icelander and my excellent uncle did their best to console and comfort me. I could, however, plainly see that my uncle was contending painfully against the extreme fatigues of our journey and the awful torture generated by the absence of water. At length a time came when I ceased to recollect anything. when all was one awful, hideous, fantastic dream. At last, on Tuesday, the 9th of the month of July, after crawling on our hands and knees for many hours, more dead than alive, we reached the point of junction between the galleries. I lay like a log, an inert mass of human flesh on the arid lava soil. It was then 10 in the morning. All right, let's hold on right there, and let's just take a drive through Payson and see if we see any dancing bears here. Oh, no, it was a mirage. It was no, it wasn't even one of those. Okay, yeah, nothing happening here by the looks of it. Golden Arches. Oh yeah, maybe get a drive through. I don't think so. Okay, Hans and my uncle, leaning against the wall, tried to nibble away at some pieces of biscuit, while deep groans and sighs escaped from my scorched and swollen lips. Then I fell into a kind of deep lethargy. Presently, I felt my uncle approach and lift me up tenderly in his arms. "Poor boy," I heard him say in a tone of deep commiseration. I was profoundly touched by these words, being by no means accustomed to signs of womanly weakness in the professor. I caught his trembling hands in mine and gave them a gentle pressure. He allowed me to do so without resistance, looking at me kindly all the time. His eyes were wet with tears, and then saw him take the gourd which he wore at his side. To my surprise, or rather my stupefaction, he placed it to my lips. "Drink, my boy," he said. Was it possible my ears had not deceived me? Was my uncle mad? I looked at him with, I'm sure, quite an idiotic expression. I would not understand him. I too much feared the counteraction of disappointment. "Drink," he said again. Had I heard all right? Before, however, I could ask myself the question a second time, a mouthful of water cooled my parched lips and throat. One mouthful, but I do believe it brought me back to life. I thanked my uncle by clasping my hands. My heart was too full to speak. "Yes," said he. "One mouthful of water, the very last. Do you hear, my boy? The very last. I have taken care of it at the bottom of my bottle, as the apple of my eye. 20 times, 100 times, I have resisted the fearful desire to drink it. But no, no, Harry, I saved it for you." "My dear uncle," I exclaimed, and the big tears rolled down my hot and feverish cheeks. "Yes, my poor boy, I knew that when you reached this place, this crossroads in the earth, you would fall down half dead. And as I saved my last drop of water in order to restore you." "Thanks," I cried. "Thanks from my heart." As little as my thirst was really quenched, I had nevertheless partially recovered my strength. The contracted muscles of my throat relaxed, and the inflammation of my lips in some measure subsided. At all events, I was able to speak. "Well," I said, "there can be no doubt now as to what we have to do. Water has utterly failed us. Our journey is therefore at an end. Let us return." When I spoke thus, my uncle evidently avoided my face. He held down his head. His eyes were turned in every possible direction but the right one. Yes, I continued, getting excited by my own words. We must go back to Sneffels. May Haven give us strength to... May heaven give us strength to enable us once more to revisit the light of day. Would that we now stood on the summit of the crater? Go back, said my uncle, speaking to himself. And must it be so? Go back, yes, and without losing a single moment, I vehemently cried. For some moments there was silence under that dark and gloomy vault. So, my dear Harry, said the professor in a very singular tone of voice, those few drops of water have not sufficed to restore your energy and courage. Courage? I cried. I see that you are quite as downcast as before, and still give way to discouragement and despair. What then was the man made of, and what other projects would entering his fertile and audacious brain? You are not discouraged, sir? What? Give up just as we are on the verge of success? He cried. Never, never shall it be said that Professor Hardwig retreated. Then we must make up our minds to perish, I cried, with a helpless sigh. No, Harry, my boy, certainly not. Go, leave me. I am very far from desiring your death. Take Hans with you. I will go on alone. You ask us to leave you? Leave me, I say. I have undertaken this dangerous and perilous adventure. I will carry it to the end, or I will never return to the surface of Mother Earth. Go, Harry. Once more I say to you, go. My uncle, as he spoke, was terribly excited. His voice, which before had been tender, almost womanly, became harsh and menacing. He appeared to be struggling with desperate energy against the impossible. I did not wish to abandon him at the bottom of that abyss, while on the other hand, the instinct of preservation told me to fly. Meanwhile, our guide was looking on with profound calmness and indifference. He appeared to be an unconcerned party, and yet he perfectly well knew what was going on between us. Our gestures sufficiently indicated the different roads each wished to follow, and which each tried to influence the other to undertake. But Hans appeared not to take the slightest interest in what was really a question of life and death for us all, but waited quietly, ready to obey the signal which should say go aloft or resume his desperate journey into the interior of the earth. Oh, let's take another look at this little drive. I think we're going to go down the big old hill. And yeah, it's always exciting, this one, because it's just so fast. And the road is fast, and everybody drives fast, and the speed limit is, 65 miles an hour, but the sign in the curve says, it should be 50 miles an hour. So, and you can tell that when people get caught a little off guard, they're already going too fast, and then they get partway through them corners and stab the brakes, and that just makes it so much worse. But, here we go. Here's the big hill. All right, I'll get back to the story. Y'all keep an eye on that, but keep your ears open, because, oh boy. Well, don't worry about it too much. I think I lost my spot. aloft and resume his defer journey into the... Okay, yeah. How, then, I wished with all my heart and soul that I could make him understand my words, my representations, my sighs and groans, the earnest accents in which I should have spoken, would have convinced that cold, hard nature, those fearful dangers and perils of which the stolid guide had no idea. I would have pointed them out to him. I would have, as if it were, made him see and feel. Between us, we might have convinced the obstinate professor. If the worst had come to the worst, we could have compelled him to return to the summit of Snuffles. I quietly approached Hans. I caught his hand in mine. He never moved a muscle. I indicated to him the road to the top of the crater. He remained motionless. My panting form, my haggard countenance, must have indicated the extent of my sufferings. The Icelander gently shook his head and pointed to my uncle. "Master," he said. The word is Icelandic as well as English. "The master," I cried, beside myself with fury. "Madman! No, I tell you, he is not the master of our lives. We must fly. We must drag him with us. Do you hear me? Do you understand me, I say? I have already explained that I held hands. Hang on. I'm holding hands by the Hans. All right, let's take another look at this thing. Let's take another look at this little road here. So, oh yeah, okay, the rumble strips is going to get started here. And like rumble strips in the corner, like there's a lot of warnings that, you know, things are getting a little dangerous. But it is a beautiful little drive. You know, take your time, have fun with it, even look around. Just check them tires. Okay, I'll let it go here now. Oh yeah, we sliding on. I think we're going to end this thing in a little, right near a little town called Rye. So we got a little bit. Let's see if we can find us a spot. Oh, I don't think I'm going to make it to the end of this chapter. I wouldn't yammer too much, and sure enough. All right, I have already explained that I held Hans by the arm. I tried to make him rise from his seat. I struggled with him and tried to force him away. My uncle now interposed. "My good Henry, be calm," he said. "You will obtain nothing from my devoted follower. Therefore, listen to what I have to say." I folded my arms as well I could and looked my uncle full in the face. "This wretched want of water," he said, "is the sole obstacle to the success of my project. In the entire gallery, composed of lava, schist, and coal, it is true we have found not one liquid molecule. It is quite possible that we may be fortunate in the western tunnel." My sole reply was to shake my head with an air of incredulity. Oh, that one. "Listen to me in the end. To the end," said the professor, in his well-known lecturing voice. "While you lay yonder, without life or motion, I undertook a reconnoitering journey into the conformation of this other gallery. I have discovered that it goes directly downwards into the bowels of the earth, and in a few hours will take us to the old granite formation. In this we shall undoubtedly find innumerable springs. The nature of the rock makes this mathematical certainty, and instinct agrees with logic to say that it is so. Now, this is the serious proposition which I have to make to you. when Christopher Columbus asked of his men 3 days to discover the land of promise, his men, ill, terrified, and hopeless, yet gave him 3 days, and the New World was discovered. Now I, the Christopher Columbus of this subterranean region, only ask of you 1 more day. If when that time is expired, I have not found the water of which we are in search, I swear to you, I will give up my mighty enterprise and return to the earth's surface. Despite my irritation and despair, I knew how much it cost my uncle to make this proposition, and to hold such conciliatory language. Under the circumstances, what could I do but yield? Well, I cried, let it be as you wish, and may heaven reward your superhuman energy. But unless we discover water, our hours are numbered. Let us lose no time, but go ahead. Oh boy, that's the end of the chapter. That's the end of chapter 18. We did it. I didn't think we was going to be able to get there, but we did. So I'm not even gonna try starting this next one. Oh well, we'll just at least, chapter 19, the Western Galley, a new route. Okay, that's it. We's gonna call it right there. Thank you so much for coming along, and we'll catch you next time. Sam C. Okay, Rosie, you do your thing, big girl. You go now.